Shut up and sit down.
Hey everyone, do you think you're a football genius? Or do you just want to win $300? Well, guess what? The time is now, and now is the time. Join PlayActionPools.com and search for the BBO NYG Podcast Pick'em Pool. Pick every game each week in the NFL season with the spread. And if at the end of the year you are in first place, you're getting paid. Hurry up and log on. Find out how you're eligible to win this prize. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. John is not with us this week. He has COVID, unfortunately. But like everybody else that catches that shit, he'll be fine. But I tell you, it's better than getting herpes. So that's always a good thing. But Jules is here. We're going to talk about Sunday's debacle, whatever you want to call it, the preview of next week, the picks. Jules, did you go crazy? I see you took everything off your background, man. If you're watching at home on YouTube, Jules took everything down.
I took everything down, and this is probably the first time I've ever done a Giants podcast where I have absolutely nothing Giant related on. No hats, no nothing. And I plan on staying this way until we get a win. So let's see what happens there, right? But that's what the new thing is going to be, and that's it. I'm supporting different breweries and all types of stuff. So maybe I'll have some crazy hats on for the future, because who knows when that W is actually going to come, right? Listen, I thought for certain it was going to be this week, but I did mention at one point, I was like, unless they come out a little flat. I don't know about you, Mike, but like that first quarter, they looked flat. Now here we are again, and maybe it was because we had a couple extra days laid off. I don't know, man. It was a little ridiculous.
It was pretty upsetting, man. Like for guys that, watching on YouTube, by the way, I just want to mention something about me. I'm wearing glasses this week. I didn't really want to. I was going to wear sunglasses, but I got popped in the eye. No, not from my significant other. From a dude at the gym I go to. Like we fight, like doing the MMA shit.
Mike was like, fuck that. Giants are still a good team. This guy was like, nah, you're an asshole.
He's a fucking Dallas fan, and he kicked the shit out of me. So basically, like, we wear headgear and shit, and we wear gear on the bottom of our legs before our shins and shit, so we don't get, like, hit. Like, it's like, it's not like that serious shit where you're going to get fucking choked out or break a leg or break a bone. But, it's a nice workout. We spar and shit. So, like, when he swung, he missed, but when he came back, he kind of like hit me with the elbow underneath my eye and underneath, like, in the middle, like the headgear, like right where, like, he hit the bottom of the headgear, but it rubbed like hard, like up against like my eye socket. So, like, yeah, I'm a little fucked up. Shit, but
listen, at least you can get away with wearing the glasses. It looks fine. You got a little hat on, a little glass action. You can't even tell, dude. In fact, chicks like bruises like that. They come up with like a good story for it.
I'm sophisticated right now. So
sophisticated Mike and non-giant wearing Jules is what you got on tonight's show right now. You know what I mean? Listen, I the only cool thing I can say is I got to play disc golf this week. You ever play that?
Like that frisbee shit?
Yeah, bro. Listen, like, it could get a little, like intense, a little fun. I mean, you think it's a lot easier because you're like, come on, I can fling a frisbee across the thing. Like, who can't do that? But all of a sudden, you start getting on some of these courses, and they have like obstructions of like trees and branches. If you throw it too high, it's gonna like get caught up in a branch and shit. And then like literally, you get to the thing, and you're like standing like 2 feet away. You're like, all right, I can just throw this into the like like the little like the gate there, whatever the heck that is, right? And the little pail if you haven't played before. And literally, like sometimes it'll go a little to the right, you missed. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Definitely might be something that you might be hearing me doing more often because I know I can't golf, right?
Did it get competitive?
What's that? Yeah, it could definitely get competitive. Yeah. Look, I looked it up. I was like right at the plane because I was in upstate New York. I was like near Albany area, Saratoga. And literally, I was like, all right, where do they have these things in New York City? And sure enough, Prospect Park, which is like 2.5 miles away from where I live. So I'm like, all right.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there. I gotta look on Amazon or something, or go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or one of those places and like try to get a couple of these like frisbees, but because like there's all different weights. There's like a driver. There's like a lighter one for a punter. Like it's crazy.
It sounds so dumb, but anything we do, like we always get competitive. I remember like going to like a mutual friend of ours, Anthony's barbecue, and we're just playing wiffle ball in the front yard, and then people are diving. Like I'm leaving there with like a hurt fucking elbow from pitching. Like I'm swinging so hard, like shit gets serious, man.
That's
like,
be quick. That's it. It only takes like one person to like get a big hit or something and start talking smack, and then that's it. The game's on. You know what I mean?
Don't matter if we're gonna be 60 years old in a few years.
But man, I wish the Giants could get up like that a little bit for some of these games, man.
What happened?
I don't want to sit there and start making excuses, but you know what? If anybody wants to blame anything on the offense, here's what I'm just going to make a quick note on in regards to that. You cannot show me another NFL team that's going to lose their 3 starting offensive linemen, right? And look, maybe 2 were supposed to be starters at the beginning of the season. One was a captain, was kind of a leader in that little, on that team for that purpose, and then lose another starter. And then you have his replacement because it just came in, then now he's hurt. So at what point in the game did he get hurt where he was probably just trying to man through it? Probably in the 4th quarter or something like that? Because it's not like he left the game. It's not like he got hurt in practice. So, it's hard for these teams to just continue to be effective when you're having all these injuries. And then you have your number 1 receiver that you brought in here to pay him all this money. And what happens? He's playing 50% or 60%. He's not 100%. Like we haven't had Galladay at 100% yet this entire season. And then Shepard goes down, then Slayton goes down, and you're having all these injuries. And instead of this kid that's supposed to be this rookie, maybe he gets some playing time. He didn't get targeted in the second half. That's alarming. How do you have 2 receivers out and one of your other ones 50% and you're not even targeting this kid? You can't design a friggin' run play for him or something.
Colin Johnson
is worrisome.
Colin Johnson, like, who the hell's this guy?
Yeah,
Colin Johnson.
Colin Johnson was just signed. It doesn't make sense. We were sitting here joking a couple months back that we had too many receivers and we were going to donate some of them to charity because we had so many receivers. Right. And then here we are back in the same nonsense where, and look, yes, Garrett screwed up again. There's no doubt about it, but it was as if he said,
no read option.
Lost Shepard. I just lost Slayton. Let me go back to my prevent offense and not make a mistake and not do anything else. And you're right, Mike. I heard you yell out the read option, man. 100%.
What happened to that?
How does the read option work extremely effective against what we were told going into this season was going to be one of the best front 7s in football? And we were crushing them with that play. You get down there against probably one of the 30th ranked defense or whatever the heck, the Falcons were. And you don't run it one time. Like, give it to me like 2 or 3 times. Let me see you get stuffed. Let me see Jones make a bad decision. Let me see some kind of whatever. The play get blown up in the backfield or something. Nothing. So what the hell happened? You lose your offensive game with your receivers, and then all of a sudden you don't even use your running back like you should. That's what I got to say about the offense. I don't know if I missed anything. Old man Rudolph was nowhere to be found. Evan Ingram tries to make his debut. We get all excited, makes a big fumble
right away. He didn't even waste any time.
Dude, it was like as if he was like, look, I'm not gonna say this for like later in the game so you guys can like kill me. He's like, I'm just gonna do it right away.
Right. And get it over with.
So you know
I
what?
felt bad for him.
Dude, I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know if these guys are just not, they're good players, but the reason why they're not superstars is because of their health issues. Yeah, I just don't know where to pinpoint that anymore. But obviously, I think, and really what I saw out there was immediately once these injuries started happening on offense, Garrett went right back to being the old Garrett, and he just started calling the offense like he was doing in mid last year. Instead of doing what these things that were helping us get ahead and how we were, really just excelling in that offense and really letting Daniel Jones run this team. I mean, look, Daniel Jones has 1 turnover. And on that 1 turnover, we want to turn around and crucify this kid as if he like he should be, thrown off the team. He sucks. He's never going to be good. Kyle Murray, right? Everybody thinks he's having a great year. That little midget running around and shit. That dude has 40 interceptions already in 3 games. Tom Brady's got 2 with a fumble loss. Right. I mean, give me a break. This guy's playing great, but you're not putting that. No guy can stay healthy for him. He's got guys that don't want to do any kind of preseason. Nobody's playing, the games with him. And now guys are getting hurt. Like, what do you expect him to do? And he's got no offensive line. And that's not due so much to Gettleman, but we can get into that another time. But you can't predict injuries. I understand. But man, that has to have some sort of effect. You can't tell me Pat Mahomes would go out there and no Tyreek Hill and no Kevin no Kelsey, and he would still throw for 400 yards, all right, against a decently team. No way.
He's not playing that great. Patrick Mahomes losing that. But like you said, like what other team in the NFL could lose, like, all their wide receivers, 2 starting offensive linemen, their starting middle linebacker that just calls out all the defensive fucking plays. I mean, that's brutal, man. It's just absolutely brutal. I don't think a lot of people really talk about how the injuries are impacting the Giants. They just want to bash them any chance they get. Sure, does the offense look terrible? I was pissed by not having the read option. I thought they did well with that last week. They didn't do it at all. And then, because last week it seems like they were saving Barkley over those 4 days rest. And so they used that more, and it worked. So I'm expecting them to use it, especially against Atlanta's defense and their shitty linebackers. Never fucking happened. So, I mean, it's just like what other team can overcome these injuries? Look at Miami. They got hurt. Tua, the quarterback, a couple other guys. The Colts just got obliterated by every kind of injury. I think their best starting offensive lineman that we wanted, or everybody else, Giants fans, Nelson wanted, he went off on a cart. So they're struggling, but nobody talks about them being a terrible regime. Their regimes were supposed to be so much better than the Giants, but nobody's talking about them because the injuries happen, and the injuries happen to this team. So what do you want? What did you expect when we lost 2 of our starting offensive linemen? You know what I mean? Even though they haven't played that terrible.
No,
not that. You know what I mean? I mean, the holding calls, the penalties kind of killed drives. It did. It killed drives. Well, let me tell you something else, Jules. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how easy it is. The Giants could be 3-0, and I'll tell you why.
3-0. All right.
3-0. The very first game. I said this before. Danny Dimes, he fumbled right at the 10-yard line. It could have made it a 17-14 game, brand new game. Maybe the Giants defense don't get worn out and they're, fucking Melvin Gordon don't run it back 80 yards for a touchdown. It's a totally different game, winnable game if he scores right there. All right, you blew that game. Second game, Washington. All right, you could go to the Slayton drop catch. He would have been up 10. They would have won that game. But you could also say on the field goal attempt, he wasn't offsides. He missed it the first time. That's win number 2. That's 2-0. Now you go back to this Atlanta game in the end zone. Adoree Jackson has the ball right in his hands for an interception in the end zone. Game over if he makes that play. So that could be 3-0. All you need is guys to actually make fucking plays on this team. If these guys just made these plays, right, and our offense is still sputtering the way it is, it's still hey, our offense could get better, but hey, we're 3-0. We're not that bad. But that's exactly what happened. These guys didn't step up. They didn't make the plays at the opportune times. And that's the difference in the game. Remember years ago in 2011, right? Victor Cruz, he gave himself up. That's a fucking fumble, Jules, when he fumbled in Arizona, right? And then if we lose that game, we don't go to the playoffs. We don't get that wild card spot, and we don't win the Super Bowl. So how funny, how crazy, a play here, a play here, a play here could just totally change the outcome of a game.
No, listen, you're right. And hey, look, say what you want about Denver. I mean, I feel like they beat us, but when you look at them, everybody's like, wow, Denver's 3-0. They're hot. They look like they're on fire.
They beat the Jets.
They beat 3 teams that have a combined record of 0-9. Just so everybody knows, all right?
I know.
So how impressive that 3-0 Denver team is currently, I am not sure yet.
It's really not.
They're gonna get a big test this week with Baltimore, and that'll be some fun when we get to that when we do the picks later. But no, you're right, man. It's crazy how 1 or 2 plays gone the other way can make a huge thing. I mean, look, you could even go back to some of the touchdown, the touchdown pass, or the big play passes in the Super Bowl with Eli Manning, right? I mean, damn, you know what? In today's NFL, Eli might have been blown dead when he was scrambling around in the back when they were pulling on his jersey, and he doesn't even get the ball off downfield for the one-handed catch. I mean, So there's so many things that can change the outcome of a game. But the thing that you want to look at, is seeing improvements. And right now, I can't say a fucking bad thing about Daniel Jones. And that's right. I dropped an F-bomb because that's how sure I am. I cannot. And people need to stop hating on that dude, right? Because he's playing good. He's in a terrible looking offensive system. None of the guys ever stay healthy. I said this from day one, give the guy a healthy team and let me see him underperform. And then I'll be like, let's get him out of town. All right. Yeah. But until that happens, you cannot say nothing about that dude because he's our best offensive player currently on this team.
He is.
All right. Stop. Just stop. All right. So that's enough. Yes. Daniel Jones is Jules' quarterback right now. And I think Mike would agree there.
I agree.
Looking to the defense, right? Look,
they played better.
I get it. I get that. And this is what drives me nuts, right? I get we lost Blake Martinez early, but you would then think that would affect the defense early. I mean, this dude went out on the opening drive. How come Atlanta didn't march up and down the field in the first, second, third quarter? Why did that not happen? I don't understand why anytime this defense has to come up with a big time stop, it never happens. And you mentioned that Adoree Jackson drop. It wasn't the easiest catch in the world. It was somewhere. It was like kind of behind him. He was reaching back. I mean, look, that's part of the reason why they always. But that's what they say. Oh, these corners are corners because if they had good hands, they'd be wide receivers, right? Like, that's the saying with that. So I don't really blame it on him in that sense. I mean, look, they go down the field as an offense, the Giants go in, they score, they get the 2-point conversion, they go up by 7 mid fourth quarter, and then you allow a 14-play, 57 yards, sorry, that one was like 60-something yard drive all the way down the field, and you let Atlanta march back into the end zone to tie the game.
Dude, were they tired at that time? I don't know. Maybe they just had enough.
Tired from what? The Giants just went on a 15-play. We had time of possession at that point. Why are we making excuses with the defense being tired? Like, enough with that. It's Atlanta. They have 2 weapons in Pitts, and then they have Calvin Ridley, and we were letting Cordell Patterson look like he was just like a stud Marshall Faulk type player. All of a sudden, no, stop. These are, they have some guys. One's a rookie. Calvin Ridley's a stud. The other guy's this kind of a journeyman who's having a decent year in this offense for whatever reason, because it kind of utilizes him as their true number 2 receiver, if you would, and not Gage or any of those other guys. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, why can't we get the big stop? We then get that up. We go down the field on offense. Yes, penalties and a couple of these killed that drive. I get it. We punt. And then here we are again, giving up a 14-play drive, 54 yards. They line up and kick a game-winning field goal. That cannot happen. That's not a top 10 defense. A top 10 defense has to stop one of those 2 drives, especially when you've been shutting them down all game. It wasn't a game that got out of control where it was just shootout. And, listen, it was just one of those things where the offenses took the game over. It wasn't like that. It was terrible. It was a boring game. If you weren't a fan, you probably would have shut it off and put something else on or fell asleep. All right. So, like, you can't give me that. And that's what I can't understand. That's back-to-back weeks that we were unable to do that on defense. And I can't say if that's fault in the players, if that's fault in the coaching, or if it's a combination of the 2. And that's what's wrong with this defense right now. I don't know. I don't know where to pinpoint that. One last thing, though, because I always try to at least end or start on a positive note. My man Ojulari setting records right now, okay?
Killed it.
Last guy to get 3 sacks in 3 games was Myles Gaskin. He's the only Giant to do it, so some respect in that matter. And that's a shout out to some of you guys that were saying that I don't say it enough or I don't get enough of it. Maybe I'll start being the Rodney Dangerfield of this show.
Yeah. That's really all we needed. That's the only thing we need is like a pass rush. Aziz's got to be on the field like 100%. Like, I don't care if he's tired. I don't care. Like, he's the only one getting to the quarterback. At all. Like,
I mean, dude, with Martinez being out now, and I get it, he's on the outside, it's a different position, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. They were mixing in some Crowder, they were mixing in, a couple other, they were mixing that around, and I get it. But the kid Ojulari should be on the field most of the time, man. Like let's say the defense is on there for like 40 plays, he should be in for 30, 35. Like, enough is enough. Like, you're hearing all this stuff about Micah Parsons and like, oh, he's looking great, this and that. Dallas doesn't take him out of the game. He's on the field the whole game. Like, that's it. That's what you do. That's why he's a high draft pick. Oh, you know what? That sounds like Tony, who they still don't play on the field. If I don't see more of Tony in week 4, I think Slayton's definitely out. I'm not sure. And Shepard's still questionable. I think Slayton's definitely out. Shepard's questionable at this point. If we don't see more of Tony going into this week, I don't know what the hell's going on. But again, that's all I had to say about the defense, Mike. I don't know if you had any comments on the defense. Maybe something I didn't miss. I have no idea anymore.
Nah, I mean, dude, I thought they played like, better. I mean, holding a team to 14 points for the majority of the game is a win to me. So I really can't blame them for this loss. But the offense, like, when you lose all your wide receivers and shit, like, you would think they would rely more on the running game and the read option. So, like, I'm done. Like, giving Jason Garrett the benefit of the doubt because he's not running the plays to, get these guys open or whatever, So I could see the frustration on some of these offensive players, especially like Kenny Golladay, even though he's like probably like 70%. But listen, you got to get your playmakers the ball, and it doesn't seem like it's really working. So I think after this week, if they don't play well, I think he's gone, but it's funny. I was thinking this before when a group text we were in saying like, I forgot who said like New Orleans was going to like probably whoop our ass. This is the way the NFL is when everybody's going to take New Orleans next week, like the spread or just to win. This is what usually happens. Like all of a sudden you see a big upset because all the money's going on the Saints. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants happen to beat the Saints next week. I'm just saying because the Saints don't look that great.
They do and they don't. They're like a Jekyll and Hyde
Weird,
team,
yeah.
Which is like a lot of the NFL currently after 3 weeks for whatever reason. I can't tell you what that reason is, but you just see a lot of these up and down type of teams. I mean, Green Bay came out week 1 flat as could be. Everyone was like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers doesn't care to do what's rather go hang out with his girlfriend on the beach somewhere or fiance. And, you know, he's just going to do that kind of thing and make Allstate commercials. Like he doesn't care no more. And then he's like, oh guys, it was 1 week. We still have 16 left like a regular season used to be for me. And comes out and now the dude's coming with big wins. He beats San Francisco. I mean, you know, you just can't tell. Like, you know, you got Denver. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, they're 3-0. They look like they got the best defense in football right now, but they did that against teams that are 0-9. You know, so you don't know what to think with some of these teams. I mean, look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are even out to a 1-2 start. And I had mentioned earlier when I had picked them last week in the pick'ems, I said to you, I said, look, the Chiefs, they look like they could have been 0-3 right now. Imagine you look at a team like 0-3. We talked about the Colts earlier, right? The Colts have started off 0-3 as well. Carson Wentz was supposed to be an upgrade over Phillip Rivers. The guy goes and hurts 2 ankles in one game. You know, like it doesn't make any sense. And that was a playoff team from a year ago. Buffalo lays a stinker against Pittsburgh. Now they look like they're on fire. Pittsburgh comes out, beats Buffalo. Now they lose 2 in a row. Like, right. You know, it just doesn't add up with the way this season's going. So yeah, you're right. Look, I kind of told you guys this, and I definitely did not see 0-3 at all. But I also kind of was like hinting a little bit and said, you know, 1-3, 1-3 could happen, right? It could happen with Atlanta being the only win. And then somehow we're back to 1-3. And then everybody wants to talk about that stretch schedule that we have in front of us. And, you know, I think we'll get into that a little bit more because like you said, with teams being as good as they are, they're not always as good as you think. And, you know, like they've said, and you've heard this phrase a million times, any given Sunday, right? Any of these teams could beat any other team. That's just how it is. You're flat. Those teams get confident. Plays start working against you. You know, player goes down or he's not at 100%. And all of a sudden, these teams end up winning.
I thought Washington was supposed to be like having like a great defense. They gave up like 83 points against Buffalo. I'm like, damn. I'm like, because I felt like kind of good after the Giants offense scored almost 30 points. I'm like, yeah, we're rolling now. Now I'm starting to rethink that.
Yeah, I know. And then look, you know what? I get it. Here's part 2 to what we were saying about how, you know, why is it that the Giants are being focused on more so than maybe some of these other clubs that have started out a little off, right? Number one, if you look at the Colts, they were in the playoffs last year. You look at the Chiefs, they were in the Super Bowl last year, right? So those teams kind of get the benefit of the doubt simply because you're expecting them to rebound. This team has been god awful over the last whatever years, right? 100 years, this way it feels currently, right? Definitely. And everybody sees us with the start and they're like, oh God, here it is again. We're just starting the season. Oh my God, it's going to be miserable. I got to deal with this till the first week in January. Oh my God, life is terrible. And New York football is the worst thing in the world, right? Mm-hmm. But look, let's just look at the upcoming games real quick. We just mentioned now the Saints, okay, maybe I get it. The thing that I think could give the Saints a slight edge here is besides the fact that they're playing better and they got 2 wins and all that kind of nonsense, but they are going home. It's the first time that stadium's open after the hurricane. There is going to be some life in them, right? And I don't know what kind of fight this Giants team is going to put up. But then we play the Cowboys, and now we're back in the division. And if anyone watched that Monday night game last night, Philly had chances. You can't run the ball 2 times in the NFL and expect to win because they had 3 carries. I mean, it was ridiculous, dude. All right.
Let me guess.
Did you cost me a week? That son of a, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, I bet you had Miles Sanders
out of the guy, bro. All he had to do was get a couple of catches and run for like 40, 50 yards, and I win. Anyhow,
I know, man. Yo, fuck fantasy football.
And then you have what? You have the red hot Rams, right? Look, they're red hot. They look unbeatable. Well, I don't know. They got to come to us. You know how these teams go. Sometimes that's a letdown game for the Rams. Rams just came out of whooping Tom Brady's ass, right? I don't even know what the rest of their schedule looks like in the next week or two. But yo, they're gonna be riding high. They're coming in. They got to do that West Coast to East Coast flight. They're gonna come. They might come in flat. You know what I mean? They could come in flat, especially if the Giants are 0-4. How you supposed to be like a 4-0 team? Or excuse me, maybe let's say they have 2 wins at that point or 1 win, right? How are you going to come in 5-0 or 6-0, whatever it would be, 5-0, and you're playing a 1-4 team? You're going to be up to play that team? No way.
Listen, NFL.
Like, I
NFL,
can't wait. I'm going to kick your ass. Like, who cares?
NFL stands for any given Sunday, so anybody can beat anybody on like any day. So that's all it is. Like, I'm hoping like Daniel Jones gets some pieces back for the New Orleans game, so we could have a shot. But yeah, we started the game. Daniel Jones had all his weapons right for about 2.5 minutes. I've had sex longer than that. True story. That's for real.
True story.
I mean, can this guy get any kind of luck, man? I mean, literally, he had his weapons for the first 5 minutes and 52 seconds of the game before an injury happened. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, why do we got to deal with all this fucking bullshit? Like, the title of the show is going to be Giants Suck. All right, that's going up there. But I'm trying to give some like optimism here to like get people off the fence because Giants Twitter was just absolutely insane after the game. Yo, Jules, I had people coming after me, DM me. I had about 8 to 10 DMs. I had shit on my timeline. You can fucking read all that shit. If you ever just go on my fucking Twitter, you'll see all the people coming at me. These people held on to like shit I was saying like about Gettleman like probably like 3 years ago. They were showing my tweets from back then. I'm like, first off, that's hilarious. Second off, are you fucking a psycho, to do this kind of shit? Like I had like people call me a clown. People call me like a Gettleman lover. One other dude had me laugh. He called me a bozo. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, and all these guys follow me. Like, so I could accept like the people coming at me that follow me. Like, we're talking shit. We're having fun. Listen, like, all right. So my shit doesn't come out with Gettleman, whatever. Shit happens. You're fucking angry. But the people that don't follow me, that come out of left field, like, I don't know you. Like, we don't follow each other. Like we can fight. Like, that's crazy. You come after me, like, especially if you call me like a bitch or something like that. I'm like, yeah, listen, you can meet me. Stop hiding behind your computer or whatever. But like the amount like of anger that came directed towards my way from putting all those posts and hyping up this team. And like one guy's like, you have a following, you got to do better. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? I do this as a fucking hobby. This shit is fun. I love the Giants. But yeah, I tell you, man, it was just like, it was such a shit show, man, over the weekend. I mean, yeah, wild, man. I mean, listen, I get people upset. Shit happens, but maybe we bounce back, man. Who knows? I'm trying to be optimistic here.
I mean, look, you're right. And look, you know how Twitter is. It's scary and hysterical at the same time because you could post something from like 2015 and all of a sudden some fucking maniac troll will make that relevant in 2021 and be like, look at what they said. And like, bro, I don't even know I was the same person 6 months ago, let alone 6 years ago. You know what I mean? So like,
it's so true.
I don't know, and like I said, the optimism can lie in the upcoming schedule. If we could get healthy, that O-line is a joke. And I can't continue to defend Garrett. I'll admit that's why I brought up the whole read option.
I'm done.
But you know what, Mike? It's the same thing too, where you got to kind of say to yourself, man, if I don't have the right personnel in there and I have, an X-play designed for this receiver and he's not there, how do I know the next man up is really going to do it? I don't know. So now all of a sudden you do get a little scared with the play calling. But like I said, what he could have what pissed me off the most was he then went away from Barkley. He then didn't try to get the rookie Tony involved, who had 2 catches in the second quarter. Well, that's on you, bro. That's on you.
Jules, let me debate the whole thing about Tony. Like, listen, that's part of Daniel Jones too. Like, he didn't like target him a lot. He was targeting fucking Colin Johnson for some strange reason. Maybe Colin Johnson was just getting open. Maybe he was running the right routes. I don't know. I didn't rewatch the game. So I can't really knock Jason Garrett for that. But sure as hell, we could knock him for that, not utilizing Barkley that much, especially with the read option. Like I said before, like you don't run the ball after that. Like I understand our offensive line wasn't really giving Barkley the holes, and now Bredesen is going to be out. Looks like for multiple times. That's why we signed that guard Wes Steinberg, the Giants guy. From Twitter.
Squad. Like, dude, that's just terrible. Like, listen, if you're a big man, you're strong, and you're out there, you're listening to this podcast, you might be able to go try out and play golf for the New York Giants. All right? That's how bad it's gotten. And I understand everybody would love to throw Ghetto Goof under the bus for that. But like, you cannot predict that you would have needed 7 guards or 8 guards going into the season. All right. No other team does this. That's why I'm trying to make a point where if Kansas City were to lose Tyreek Hill and their 2 receivers, two starting offensive linemen and a center and a guard, I want to see how good they are. I want to see how Pat Mahomes is running around for his life. All right. So please, that's what you need to realize. These things were in place and now they're not. And now we're trying to figure things out to fix it. And that's why I said, look, I would love to beat the Saints. Can we do it? Sure. Any given Sunday. Can we beat the Cowboys? I think so. Can something happen over those 3 games where we win 2? Possibly. All right. And then you got the Panthers, who I'm sorry, Sammy D. I'm not sold on them 100% just yet. That defense is good. It's not great. All right. You got the Chiefs. I don't know what Chiefs we get. Maybe they were on fire by the time we're playing them, or maybe it's this Chiefs teams that we've seen the last couple of weeks. You got the Raiders that are playing great. They don't have a great defense.
You almost lost to Miami.
They have a good pass rush. They don't have a great defense. And then we go down to Tampa and we play the Bucs. So we, with all those games in place, I mean, I get it. It's tough. It's a stretch. We could, I don't want to go and say 4-3, but 3-4 out of there, maybe 3-4 puts us at 3-7 for the rest of the season. With an additional 7 games to go.
It's hopeful. Let me ask you this: like, do you want that to happen, Jules, or you rather just have us lose every game the rest of the year and get a high draft pick with Chicago losing? They're going to lose a lot of games.
For what? No.
Do you want a higher draft pick, or do you want to actually see these guys improve and play hard? Because I know there's going to be fans that's going to be like that. They're going to want to see the Giants just go 0-17 now.
That's a loser mentality, and it's those fans that are the first to start criticizing that this team sucks.
Right.
All right. Guarantee you there. They're the first ones, but then they're like, yeah, I get always 17 because we're gonna get great picks. No, you're not, you fucking moron. All right, like stop with that shit. No,
that's how I picture every troll that comes at me talk. That's how I picture them sounding.
Of course, absolutely. Right, I'll do that voice some more. Mike, can you guarantee me a 3-4 split over the next 7?
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Give me a 3-4 split over the next 7.
When these 3-0 teams, there's a lot of fake 3-0 teams out there too.
Of course.
A lot of fake 2-1 teams. So let's just see how the schedule plays out. Like maybe should have happened. But if we didn't have the injuries we had and we were still 0-3, I'd be more optimistic than I am now. It just like that really puts a damper on us. Like, listen, like you said before, I'll take like 5 sumo fucking wrestlers to play the offensive line. You can't go do them motherfuckers, sign them. Go to Hong Kong, fucking get 5 of those on the fucking plane if they're allowed to with the weight, but just bring them back here and let them play. Get an extra large jersey, throw them on there. Let's go, man.
Just like, just stand there. Stand there and just push people out of your way.
For real, man. Like, we need help.
Look, I mean, we could discuss coming out of the back end of that last schedule, the last 7 games of the season, which, by the way, will be mostly all divisional games. We're going to get another 4 on that back end there. So if I get that 3-4 split with 3-7, which sucks, by the way, there's nothing to be excited about or happy about. Let me make that clear. And I got that 7 to go. I'm not saying we go 7-0, but I definitely know we have 4 games, right? If I'm not mistaken, we have another, 4 games against the division, right? Because we didn't play Philly yet. Listen, can we go 4-0 against them? Possibly. Now I'm at 7-7, right? And then all of a sudden, you just need to win a game or 2 here, and we're right at that 8-9 win total that I predicted earlier in the year. So we're not fucking off by that much. Give me that 3-4 split over those next 7 games, and let's see what happens. But that's what you have to expect as a Giants fan. You get anything more than a 3-4 split over the next 7, man, you're going to be fucking tweeting your balls off that this team is the greatest team. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win the division and all that nonsense, right? So that's what needs to be kind of understood, because that is really the situation with the injuries and the current state of the New York Giants.
Are you pissed like the way Joe Judge has been like coaching? Because I mean, listen, I know people made a big deal about him punting like at the 39-yard line. Yeah, I don't really like. I'm not that mad about it. Of course, I want to see them go, because I want to, like, I play Madden a lot, so I go for it on 4th and 20 sometimes. So of course, every time it's 4th down and short, I want them to go for it, especially in their territory, in your own territory. You kind of want to make that happen and rely on your defense. But listen, the way the defense was playing, I get trying to pin him back. I get that. But man, I just want to see him, like override Garrett, like do something to get this team hyped up and pumped up on the bench. I think they need that right now. They need a spark. They need something. And maybe that could, totally change the way like these guys like, approach the game in a way. Maybe they do get hyped up. Maybe they need a play like that to go in their favor for once, because these past 3 games, it really hasn't.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions real quick. First one's gonna be an obvious one, and then the other one will lead in, and that'll lead into this one, which will be a little bit more complex. But if you had to choose this year, last year, of course, but this year, who do you think has been the better of they rely on more, the offense or the defense for the Giants?
Last year was the defense, 100%.
But this year too, right? In a way, right? Like,
this year, yeah,
top 10. No one was coming out of the gate saying we were going to have a top 10 offense. It was almost a top 10 defense, right? So that's the point. And now you want to have that offense start to have a spark, like you mentioned, right? And you want to see a little bit more out of them. But yet, 4th and 2, multiple times now, back-to-back games, you punt.
Right.
Why? What are you saying? Because if you had, say, like the Ravens defense in 2000, hell yeah, you're going to punt that, because if you could pin a team inside the 10, you got that defense that can force a 3 and out, and now you give your offense that same field position, maybe better with 4 fresh downs, right? We don't have that defense. I was saying earlier, we don't get the big stops when we need it. We pin these teams inside the 10, they get a first down. And it happens every single time. We go down, we tie the game, they come right back and kick a field goal. We go down and kick another one. They go back down and kick. We never stop them when it means. So what's the difference? If they're not going to stop them, go for it on 4th down, Judge. Stop being a conservative little bitch. Go for it. I was screaming on that play. Go for it. Yeah. You made the mistake against Washington. Why would you not realize that you should try it this time? Unless you have zero confidence in either your coordinator, your quarterback, who's your best player on your team offensively currently, or your just whole offensive scheme, because it doesn't make sense. You got to go for it occasionally. That's a shit team. You're losing. You're down. You're 0-2 against another 0-2 game. You're having all these fans come in because they want to see Eli's jersey retired, which we didn't even talk about because that's how disgusting this game was. All right. And even the coverage on that got overshadowed by just the nonsense. All right. Mara getting booed when he walks out onto the field, like just nonsense. Okay. And why? Go for it, dude. What if we don't get it and they come down the field, they do the same thing they did to us anyway? Who cares? And that's the difference there. And that's what I don't understand. So yeah, some of this is falling on Judge. How much of it is inexperience, and how much of it is just him maybe not having the cojones to make the call? I don't know. But that's going to start to be exposed more and more as this season progresses.
They messed up Eli Manning Day. I can't believe that. Even like, yesterday, if people watch like the Monday Night Football, you could tune into ESPN2 and watch Peyton and Eli like have a conversation about the game. Yep. So Eli brought up a story because they had Chris Long as a guest, and Chris Long played for the Eagles for many years. And Eli Manning went, he's like, oh, a lot of fans are pretty cool. The stadium, they're excited to see you, whatever. But when I got to Philly, like I had 9-year-olds flipping me the double bird, like giving me like the middle finger. So Eli was like, like I wish I could do the same thing. And he's like, and he puts up his middle fingers on national TV. He's like, and he's saying at the same time, it's like, oh, they'll blur it out. I'm like, Eli, it's live. Like they won't be able to blur this out in time. And if you look up online, you can see Eli giving the double bird, and that just sums up the perfect weekend. That just made everything's like just perfect sense. I'm like, all right, we don't want to fire Eli, guys. He's not the guy to fire ESPN. We want him to stick around.
Please. But, and it's funny you mention that, because I'm like, was he really talking that to Phillies and how Philly fans do that? Or was he saying that to the Giants team, being like, yo, that's how you fucked up my day, bro?
Dude, and another thing on that telecast too, they had like the probability of the NFC East teams, each team winning the division. And Eli's like, oh, look, Dallas is favored by 50. He's like, Giants 2%. He just kind of bit his tongue. He's like, I don't like that. Like, and he wouldn't talk about it. So Eli's pissed. So like a lot of people around that building is getting fucking pretty heated. So something
definitely got to get. Garbage cans in multiple weeks. I don't know if it's the same meme that's being carried over from week to week. I have no idea. I mean, listen, like I said, listen, whatever garbage can like affected him as a kid, man, he's letting it out in his old age.
It's crazy. Like that garbage can ever did to you, bro.
Seriously. But look, man, that's kind of the bottom line with the New York Giants. Like I said, look, if I would go on record and say that you give me that 3-4 split over this 7-game stretch of death, and that they have a shot of still winning 7-8 games this season. All right. And that's what I'll go out and say. You give me anything more than that, man, I'll say we might get back up to the crazy totals that you and John were talking about.
Well, John Ross might play. John Ross might play this week.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, John Ross. No, you know what I want to see?
Jamie Collins signed with the fucking Giants. That's what I want to see.
Listen, you know what I really truly want to see? And this is where I'm getting at it now, where, I bash the kid Tony. I think he could be a bust. I've been going on and on and on. Yeah, he needs to play. He needs to come out and play week 4, especially if Shepard's not going. If there's no Shepard, there's no Slayton, and this kid is not starting on the opposite side of Galladay, then we got a real problem on our hands here, all right? There's something wrong in New York Giants camp for real, all right? And that's sort of the bottom line there. I don't know, man. You know what? There's nothing more. We spun some positive twists. We should put some thoughts in people's heads. That's how our feelings are in regards to the New York Giants and the state of their team currently after the 3 weeks of football. I think we need a quick commercial break, Mike, and then maybe we'll go start talking about other teams and picks and have a little fun with that. How does that sound?
Yeah, we definitely need to change, Jules. So I'm gonna fucking jump off the ledge this week.
Yeah, the hell with this, man. We put enough effort into that Giants squad.
For real. So listen, we'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast with the pick'ems, and we got some other stuff to talk about. We'll be right back. All right, we are back with the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. John is away this week. Had COVID. Get well soon, John. Better than herpes. So like,
herpes lasts forever. COVID's like about a week to 2 usually.
You don't want that shit, man. You definitely don't want that. That shit'll fucking creep up out of nowhere. You don't even. That's just for me reading, doing my own research. Okay, that's not for personal experience. Okay. So, Jules, you want to get in on these picks, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, right now we could definitely do the picks. We don't have to end on the picks tonight, but we could definitely sort of just like coast and go through this and spend a little extra time talking about some teams that apparently are really good. But before we do that, we need to get the standings, right? Like where's everything standing with the Play Action Sports? What's up with that?
I'm looking at it right, Jules. We had a good week, or the other guys above us had a terrible week. But anyway, we are now tied in 3rd place, man, with 32 and a half points. We are tied with Nick B Diddy 54. He has 32 and a half too. My boy Jeff Woody 13 is still in the league at 34 points. So we're only a point and a half behind them.
Oh man, let me tell you, buddy, we're coming for you. We're back.
We are coming. T-Bone 1955 has 33. And let's take a look at see who other plays. A couple of my guys, my boys down they're all the way down there. Oh, number 7 is John the Boar. He's starting to make a little move. He's around 7. He's not doing so well with his picks. He should learn to listen to the BBO NYG podcast, to try to make his
the big blue offensive, right?
You know what I mean?
Listen to.
My boy Rob's right behind me, MFT 31 and a half. So I'm right there. So yeah, it's competitive, man. Real competitive.
All right, listen, it's still open. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep that going all season long. That might be the only joy we have here on the channel because of the way the Giants have been playing, but we'll find out.
It might be, man. So. It might be.
All right, Mike, so listen, how do you want to do this tiebreaker this week? If we're on opposite ends, you want to just do the old school thing of flip a coin?
I think you have a coin there, Jules.
I do. Or do you want to do it where every other pick is your pick, that my pick, your pick, that my pick kind of thing?
All right, so I'll give you the first one on that. Yeah, the coin will go if you have one override. If you feel very strongly, you could override it. Like if I'm if you don't like me picking it, you'll go override it. All right. So I'll give you the first one. First game, Thursday night game. The Bengals are at home -7.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I mean, look, the Bengals are playing better. I don't know what's wrong with me in fantasy football. I actually picked up their defenses in a couple of leagues. They're playing a little bit better than you think. They're going to be at home. The only thing I'm concerned with here is them covering the spread. I think they definitely beat the Jags. All right. Do they beat them by more than 7? Oh, I mean, is Trevor Lawrence ever going to wake up? They had James Robinson actually looking better last week. Their defense is better than people think, because their defense is constantly being put in turnover situations with as many as Lawrence has thrown up until this point. It could be one of those games. They're hyping it up, Lawrence versus Burrow. Yeah. You never know. I don't know. I mean, this kid's going to be fine in one of these games. I can't be convinced that Urban Meyer just doesn't know how to coach in the NFL or anything. I don't believe in that. But I gotta go Bengals.
Go Bengals. I like the Jaguars.
Oh boy. Oh,
so I guess
away we didn't waste no time.
Man, I guess you got the first one, so I guess we got to go Bengals.
Bengals it is.
I don't feel that strongly about that game, so I'm definitely not going to override you with that one. I like Trevor Lawrence, man. I got him in my 3 of my fantasy teams, and definitely in one dynasty, or the keeper league or whatever. So I got him in that. So, and he's been playing he throws these dumb picks, he's almost kind of confused at times. Yeah. But Bengals, I don't know why you picked up the defense. I think they're not. I think they're shitty.
Their defense is scoring points. It's weird.
Yeah, I know it's stupid, and they might score more points because he might throw a couple of picks. But
that's what I mean.
That spread is a lot to me. But hey, listen,
that's the only thing that's really kind of they put it at 7.5 to just kind of with you a little bit there.
On a short week too, man. I kind of like taking the points, man. This ain't Houston like last week where they got killed by Carolina.
I mean, the only thing I can see there is that the Bengals coming off a big win against the Steelers and they shellacked them. Do they let down? They take
maybe that's what it is.
That's the only thing I can really see. If not, then they cover. But I got this one. I'll go Bengals. I'll eat crow if I'm wrong.
All right. Next one. The Dolphins are at home, -2 against the injury-riddled Colts.
Oof. Oh God, this game is just terrible in my eyes.
It just looks terrible.
It's just all right. So if you weren't in this pick'em league and you're out there and you listen to some of our picks and you like to really gamble in football, do not bet this game. All right.
Yeah, stay away.
This is a huge trap game. All right. I'm gonna go. My gut is telling me the Colts get their first win of the season. They win. So I will take the point and a half on this one. I don't know how you feel.
I'll take the Colts just because I could see a 1-point win by Miami, something stupid like that. So yeah. I'll take the 2 points. Colts at least they play hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. They get killed by injuries, but yeah, they should beat Miami because Miami look terrible.
Yeah, they got an okay defense, but I think I like the Colts on that one. But like I mentioned, do not bet it in the real betting world. I just stay away unless you're a diehard Colts or Dolphins fan and you just bet it anyway.
If you're drunk in Vegas and you want to put a bet in on that game, don't. Just go get a hooker.
There's other games to put all the money on.
There's other shit to do out there. The next game, the Atlanta Falcons, pieces of shits, against a Washington football team that has no name. Washington football team that has no name is -1.5. Jules, I don't want Washington to win, but Atlanta sucks. I watched them. They are terrible.
But so does Washington.
I know they're talking.
Their only win is because Dexter Lawrence jumps off sides. Or else they'd be 0-3. We'd be 1-2 right now. I mean, they're not much better. I mean, granted, they lost to the Chargers at home week 1. The Giants should have beat them. They beat us. And then they go and get shellacked up in Buffalo, where it's a tough place to play. And Buffalo is soaring high. You're right. I mean, it's there's another one, guys. So literally, we're just starting off this thing being just don't bet this week. This is a terrible week to actually bet. If you've been riding high the first 3 weeks, Vegas does it. It's like they suck you in, and then you get to weeks 4 and 5 and 6, and all of a sudden things start going out the window. 3-0 teams start playing 0-3 teams, and vice versa. So this is the perfect example. But I think you're right, Mike. I mean, Washington can't be this bad. They can't be this bad. Not that bad. They got to go in. They got to win. If you want to go and say Washington -1.5, we can do it. I'm with you on this one.
But Atlanta's at home getting points. I hate when home teams are at home getting points.
That's just because that's how bad Atlanta is.
God, yeah, right? Yeah, because I'm gonna be rooting for Atlanta to beat them. I know Sunday I'm gonna be so frustrated because Washington's gonna win. So yeah, we'll take Washington.
That's why. There you go. That's it. You said it perfectly there. This way, at least if they cover, we at least got our pick.
Yeah. Oh my God.
If they lose, we're still gonna be happy.
That's true. All right. Well, the next game. This is my survivor pick in every survivor pool I'm in. I'm taking them. I don't know if that's bad luck, but I'm taking the Bills. Bills are at home. going against the Texans, and the Bills are minus 16.5.
That's like a college football spread right there.
Yeah,
first of all.
like
And look, you're right with the survivor pool. I was thinking of picking them, but they still got to play the Jets twice, and they have like some other shit teams later in the season where I'm like, I don't want to waste my pick
I know.
on that one.
I know.
Yeah, the Bills are they should destroy them. I hate that spread. It's a lot of points, man. Like,
are the Bills gonna blow two teams out in a row? Like, are they really? Like Houston, at least they run the ball pretty consistently, you know. But it's the Bills Mafia at home. Like, that defense is playing lights out. They might actually shut them out.
I mean, White looked great on the field for them and playing in the secondary last week. You know, if you take back that Gibson run, they really destroyed friggin' Washington. And Gibson, there was a couple of just bad tackles. There was guys just that were a little out of position. I don't see that happening against Texas. I think we got to take this. We got to give 16.5 to Texas, bro. Like, it's crazy.
So Bills it is, right? Yeah,
Bills
man.
Mafia, one more week.
Yeah, dude, I can't take the Texans. That's insane.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Maybe if it was like 22 points. If it was 22, then I'm like, all right, I'll take.
Maybe, right. Because they win by 20 and you still won't cover.
You know, that's crazy. I can't believe we're talking about that already.
Oh my God.
Just trade Deshaun Watson somewhere. I mean, I picked him up in all these fantasy leagues, hoping he get traded like tomorrow, especially after Miami getting hurt, like with that quarterback situation, and still nothing. Like, the dude's not guilty yet.
Yeah.
You know? Let's see. Sorry, all you 50 massage women out there that probably got and never mind. Browns playing the Vikings. Browns are -2 against Minnesota.
Well, here you go. Now, here's the perfect example. This Vikings team is a little better than what it says on paper, right?
Yeah.
They missed a very makeable field goal 2 weeks ago against Arizona. That goes through. All of a sudden, this team is 2-1. They were in a close game week 1. I don't remember the opponent. You know, and now you're talking about like taking a team on the road with giving points to that home team that, you know, Cleveland's good. They've been playing good too. They should have beat Kansas City. It's tough. The Vikings are good this past week. They look very good against Seattle at home. I think that gives the Vikings the edge this week.
And Cook is probably back too. So like, I'll take Minnesota this week for sure. That might be a money ball bet, right?
Yeah, I think especially knowing that the Vikings are getting the 2 points, I'll money ball that one.
All right. So we money ball that. All right. Next game could have been my other survivor pick. Actually, I picked one of my survivor picks on this team. The Titans are -7.5 against the New York Jets.
Yeah. So you were talking about survivor, and this is the one I'm leaning towards. I mean, the Titans, they had that comeback win and they looked good again last week. Like, Jets have not shown me anything yet this
money
year.
Ball pick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we go Titans, Moneyball pick, and possibly even Survivor on my end.
No doubt. Even if you want to get a little crazy, 2-game tease the Titans down to 1 and like the Bills down to like 10. Oh man, that's a bet right there.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna have to fly out to Vegas, fucking put that bet in and get a hooker.
Oh, you don't have to, bro. Just drive over, see how John's doing, talk to him from outside the window, and then just place a bet in Jersey.
Yeah, drive right over there.
And I'll tell you this much too. And once you go north of Albany, they have sportsbook in the state of New York. So I don't understand how that's a possibility.
It doesn't make any
New
sense.
York City. I mean, can we drive the Yonkers? Well, you're in Yonkers, so maybe you could just go to White Plains and make a bet.
No, like it's bullshit. Like I hate that shit.
Yeah,
like, I can't even log on to DraftKings, Jules. When I left in a DraftKings here, when I log in, they're threatening to kick me off because I'm logging in from like a different, illegal state to gamble. I'm like, shut up. You know how many people drive over the GW? They go to their first rest stop and they're all in the parking lot on their phones putting bets in. Right. They do that like every Sunday morning. It's fucking wild, man.
All right. Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Look, we just got to go up to like you can either take a ride up like a little past Albany, about 3 hours, 3.5 hours in Saratoga. You go bet over there, bro. You can sit in the sports book. I saw it over the weekend.
The Catskills Casino.
Yeah, well, that's if you go west, but yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, dude, that's like
there's so many places for us to go. New York City's got to get with it.
Yeah, they really got to step up, man. Stop paying all these mob people fucking money. Just fucking get drafted. You get so good odds on DraftKings. Like if you bet an underdog like $800, like the payout was like $1,400 when I bet the Giants the first week. when they were getting 2 points. I mean, sure, I lost the fucking bet, but like the money was there. Like you don't get that money with a bookie.
No, definitely not.
You just pay the vig all the time. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I'd rather drive to Jersey and pay the $10 toll. Or I think it's like $80 now, whatever. All right, next game. Bears are at home -3 against the Lions.
Bears -3 against the Lions. Bears are -3?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go with the Lions.
Me too.
I'm going Lions. Lions is.
That's our third Moneyball pick, Jules. Right,
I think
there.
so too. Because you're seeing what I'm seeing. The Lions have been fighting. Bears don't look that much better. We're rooting against them because we're trying to get the Bears pick. I mean, how great would it be if the Bears suck completely this entire season? And like they have the number 1 overall pick or number 2 pick, and we got it. You know, so yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Lions
great.
And money it.
Bears sucking, the Giants going on a mad win streak. And they're going to start right now because the Giants are getting 8.5 points against the Saints. I'm taking the Giants, Jules. I don't give a shit.
Everything points in the direction that you should not take the Giants. Not.
Right. Everybody's loading up on Saints.
That line will probably move to 9.5 by Sunday's actual final line. All right, because I think that's how much action will come in.
Yep.
Do I believe in Jameis Winston? No. Is he a turnover machine? Absolutely. Do they have any tight ends that I'm afraid of? No. I think, I'm telling you, do not take it and say that I'm coming out on the record and saying it's 100% whatever. But if I was in a casino for this weekend, I wouldn't even take the 8 points. I would put like 25 on the money line for the Giants. All right.
500. Yep.
You know what I mean? And actually try to win some return on that because that's what'll happen in this game. Giants, yes, they got a little beat up against Denver and they lost by a little bit more than that margin. But they played 2 bad teams in Washington and Atlanta. Mm-hmm. They're not going to lose by double digits. They're not. All right. I'm putting that out there.
We do stop the run like fairly well. And if Kamara don't have a huge game against us, like, hey, look, we kind of have that matchups. It's a weird game, man. That's a trap game.
It's a definite trap game.
I hope everybody loses a ton of money betting the Saints this weekend.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that. Yes, I said I would bet the money line because in reality, I wouldn't take the points. I would just bet a small bet on the money line if I was really doing it. Part of that's because I'm a Giants fan. Definitely, there's no doubt.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm just telling you, man, just don't be too over surprised if that comes through.
Well, Jules, like, people that bet like a survivor pool, there's always an upset. Houston's not beating Buffalo on a big spread. Right. This is the next big spread. So that has the capabilities, and there really hasn't been a huge upset really since week 1. So I think we're due, and I'm telling you, man, Giants might actually fucking win, and then everybody's going to get all excited again, and then we lose the following week. All right, so next game, we took it the Giants. I might do the Moneyball pick for that one. Let me just put that in now if you want to change.
No, I don't want to Moneyball the Giants. We got one money left. Let's see the rest of the board.
All right. That's the gambler in me, Jules. Apologize.
Like I said, we won. Like, listen, I played roulette over the weekend, and like I've actually kind of gotten the hang of that game, even though I'm more of a craps and poker player. And I was up a few dollars. So if I was up a few dollars again this weekend, if I had gone back to the casino, I would throw some of my winnings, like a small portion of it, 20% or something, on the Giants to win, so I get that even higher payout. But to take the points and actually put in a real bet, I don't know if I would do it. This is the Big Blue Offensive Giants podcast. Yeah, I'm going to take my team getting 8.5 and say that I don't see 0-4 on the horizon. So that's that thing. But, moneyballing it, no, let's still try to win this and catch up with some of these other guys that are in front of us right now.
Listen, I hope you got the hang of playing roulette. It's pretty easy. You just put your money on a number, Jules.
No, but you play corners and you play sections and you do there's different ways to kind of play the board better where your odds are in more of your favor. But yes.
Oh, we know this, man. I know. I played a lot. God, I want to. Just hearing the name roulette just makes me want to fucking go play right now. All right, next game is the Cowboys are at home. Fuck them against the Panthers. Wow, Cowboys -5.
Yeah, see, you know what? Now we're going to really get a test to see what that Panthers team is, right? We'll see. Look, because yes, the Dallas defense is better than what it was last year. Better. It is better. Okay.
I agree.
But a lot of those turnovers that Hurts made last night, if you were looking at that game, some of that was just him, man. It was terrible throws. And you know what? When you're just in a game where you refuse to run the ball, you know what? Teams they're gonna put the right defenses in place. They're gonna have different coverages and all that kind of stuff, which create these turnovers. So I'm not sold on Dallas's defense. I think Sammy D could come in and put some points up on the board for them for sure. Do I see Dallas winning? Maybe. But if this Panthers defense is as good as it is, it's going to get tested this week. We're going to really see what that defense is all about. You want to give me what, 5? You said 5 and a half?
5 points.
5. I'll take the 5. They're getting the home 3, and Vegas is only giving them 2 more on that.
Yeah.
They're trying to say they're not sure yet either. They're thinking Dallas is either going to win by 7 or 10, or Dallas might win by a field goal, right? That's the way that Vegas is sort of seeing that line, in my opinion. But I'm going to take the points. You give me points. I'll take the points.
I just hate there's no McCaffrey this week, with his hand.
Chubba Hubbard.
Yeah, Chubba Hubbard. But if you watch Chubba Hubbard, he didn't really run the ball that great. So we really got to rely on Sam Darnold and Cowboys. They don't got that great of a pass defense. So,
and it's a 1 o'clock game. I feel like Dallas, when they get that 4:25 start, because it's an hour behind or whatever it is. So us on the East Coast, we see the kickoff at 4:25. That's their game.
Different. Yeah.
When you get this 1 o'clock weird game with Carolina coming in, it has a better defense. It's going to be a weird game. That's why I take the points all day with it.
Yeah, I got to take the points. I could see that being a tight game, but I could also see the Cowboys blowing them out. But I don't want that to happen. But this is another game I'd stay away from.
Oh, yeah. All right. In a real betting situation, not touching that game.
Yeah, not touching. Exactly. All right. So next game, I touched this game. The Chiefs are in Philadelphia, and the Chiefs are -7, a touchdown.
Here's another one that you could survivor pick, because they're 1-2. They don't look good. They want to, Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the ball. The Chiefs need to wake the fuck up. All right. They need to come out and they need to put a spanking on an average Eagles team. All right.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens. Look, if it doesn't happen, then the Chiefs are a beatable team, and that could be one of my 3-4 splits later on that 7-game stretch with the Giants have to face. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, what they're giving 7?
Yeah, I take the Chiefs.
Chiefs all day. I'm good with that. You want to money that one?
Yeah, kind of, because they're due, man. And I watch Philly. I don't care about Mahomes, his offensive line. I tell you, man, Philly has no chance to play defense against that team. Yeah, I see Dak make throws like the guys that are just plain old wide open. It was easy. They should have blown Philly out by more. So yeah, Chiefs all day.
Chiefs all day.
Next game, the Rams are at home. Rams are playing on fire. They're 4.5 favorites over the Cardinals.
That's a big game. They're coming off of a big game. That's a division game. They're at home. Rams have been playing great. Stafford looks good. You got to go Rams here, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I didn't want to money them, but I definitely like that pick. You know what? You got to ride the Rams so you can't no more. In my opinion.
No doubt. I'm not sold on the Cardinals with Kyler Murray either. They play these close games a lot, but they just I don't know, like you said before, 4 picks in 3 games or whatever. Yeah. So he'll throw another one against Jalen Ramsey and shit. So yeah, Rams all day. All right, next game. 49ers are at home -3 against the Seahawks. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. This is now. Here's the NFC West game.
Yeah,
and you got to scratch your head and be like, they're both coming off of tough losses. And they don't want to start the season down, not only to a divisional opponent, but then also in the loser column, right? So, yeah, it's tough. I got to go home team in the 49ers.
Man, I can't bet against Russell Wilson, so I'm gonna take Russell Wilson. So that's mine.
That's yours then. All right, you got it.
Agreed on a lot of games, so we're probably gonna lose every game this week.
Yeah, I know. It's not a good week right now for us. I'm getting nervous. We're talking too much smack with the way we're catching up in the standing.
Yeah. All right,
so Seahawks getting 2.5. All right.
The next game. All right, this is your team. The Broncos are at home -1.5 against the Ravens. Broncos. They lost. KJ Hamler, right? Another wide receiver down for them. Yep. They played 3 shitty teams, apparently, not counting the Giants. I can't say they're shitty, but they play weak teams. I mean, I don't know, Jules. I think the Ravens all the day, but why are the Ravens getting 1.5?
This is a trap game. Trap, because America currently on Tuesday night is 82% taking the Ravens.
Wow.
Trap.
Wow.
All right. Ravens, look, they played a great game against Vegas in Vegas. Yes, they came back and they beat the Chiefs, who we already been saying the Chiefs haven't looked the way the Chiefs look. All right. And if it wasn't for a 66-yard field goal, they would have lost to Detroit.
Right.
All right. Oh, man. You know what? This is going to be another game where you're going to find out how good these teams are. But that Broncos defense is still good.
And they're at home.
They're at home, and that mile high is going to affect players. Lamar's a runner. I don't know how well he runs in that high altitude. He'll come out in quarter one running all over the field, but by quarter 3.5, I don't know if he's going to still have that same agility and energy that he had.
Yeah.
You know what? I almost say Denver. I'm going Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Denver just because they're at home. It's that home field advantage, man. And this dude, Justin Tucker's not going to make a 66-yarder there. No way.
No, he's not. And look, if the Ravens come in, they beat the piss out of them, I'm not going to be surprised by that. And then we just know that Broncos team's overrated. And that's the end of it. And they go back to being the overrated orange. And that's that.
I tell you, man, the Ravens, like 100 people would have been out my survivor pool if you fucking didn't make that goddamn field goal. And did you see the play before on 4th and 19? It was the clock ran out. It should have been an extra 5-yard penalty.
Yep.
Fucking refs.
I know.
Refs blow everything, man. They're just blowing every game. Like, pay attention. It's your job. Idiots. All right.
And listen, and I'll tell you one other thing too, Mike, with us being in this tournament and everybody having the advantage because we tell our picks every week, right?
Right.
And we're still catching up with you guys. I guarantee you that the majority were all taking the Ravens until we said what we said tonight. So that should give us another leg up there.
No copycats. See, I think the last week, if we're tied, we're gonna say our picks after.
Yep. We'll save that part of the recording. We'll just kind of bleep it out. And then just
you're gonna hear all bleeps every pick we make. All right, next game. The Packers are at home -6.5 against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh don't look right, man.
They don't look right. Aaron's playing great. He looks happy again. Yeah, you know what? And now they're saying Juju might be out. Deontay Johnson might be out.
Yeah,
they're going to rely just on Claypool and Harris. Yeah, you know what? Until I see something different, I don't even know what the status is on Watt. I don't know about that Pittsburgh team. It's tough to see them go that way with only one win, but having to play on the road, I got to go Packers here.
2-game tease, man. Packers and the Chiefs, man. Book it. Make some money in Vegas.
Don't forget Buffalo you mentioned.
That too. Listen, I'm with that too, man. Damn, we're agreeing way too much this week.
Way too much.
This is crazy.
What we were saying. You get to week 4 and Vegas traps you.
Yeah. It's a trap week.
Trap week.
Oh, man. Let's see. All right. 2 more games left. The next game. This is the game of the week. 8:20 game. Tampa Bay are -7. Tom Brady's going back home into New England against the New England Patriots, his former team. I tell you, I'm not sold on New England.
Yeah.
I'm taking Tom Brady all day. I think, what's his name going to get signed? I think as a cornerback, mediocre, fucking Richard Sherman, I think might get signed this week.
Well, if that happens, it may influence my pick somewhat. But
you're going
I would feel as a hypocrite if I didn't at least say this, right? I said that Brady basically went into Tampa, took the system that Coach Belichick, that he'll be against, taught him, okay? And put it into play, and that's why they won the Super Bowl and they can win it. Yes, they have a ton of weapons. That New England defense is pretty good, not great. There's so much pride on the line. The only thing that's making me not say the Patriots, no doubt, all day long is the fact that Tampa's coming off of a loss. So they cannot afford to lose again, not this early in the season. I did mention they were looking to get beat, but here's another crazy, overwhelming thing for me, man. 97% of America currently on CBS is saying that they're going to beat the hell out of them and Tampa Bay.
Right.
You can't sit here and tell me that's the case. I got to say that New England's got some tricks up their sleeves for Brady. They're going to throw everything at him. Does he get out of there with a win? Yes. Does he cover the 7? No, because I think if anything, it's a push. Then I got 7 on that, right?
Yeah, 7.
I would buy that line up to 7.5 because I can see them getting out of there with a 7-point win.
This could be like a push game, maybe.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, I like Tampa Bay. All right, we'll go back to that game. It's a big, huge game. I want to see if we agree on this last game. Monday night game. Chargers are -4. They're at home against the Raiders. I actually like the Raiders.
All right. I could go either way, but I've been a big promoter for the Raiders this season, so that's kind of where I'm coming from on that. And I think that Gruden's finally put something together. I like him, but I also like Herbert a lot. And I think this is going to be a great Monday night. This might be one of the better Monday night games that we've seen.
I think so.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun game.
Listen, I'll take the Raiders.
All right.
You take the Patriots.
Let's do that. I can do that. I can live with that. I can live with that, man. I could definitely live with that move.
And then our Moneyball picks are the Chiefs, the Lions, Titans, and the Vikings.
Yep.
That's 4 Moneyball picks right there.
Money all day. All right. And by the way, there's no way they don't show you. I forget. They don't tell you exactly how you're doing on the money picks, do they?
Yeah, of course. Like you get extra points if you hit a money pick. So I could look like last week. So last week was September 21st. So we hit, get an extra point. So we had the Bills as a money ball. We hit that. We hit the Broncos against the Jets, and that was pretty the easiest money like ever. And then we also lost two money ball picks.
So we were 2-2 in week 3.
Yeah.
All right. What about do we have the numbers from week 2?
From week 2, let's see. Just on the money ball picks, right?
Just money ball picks, yeah. Just money
ball picks. We had the Broncos then. We had the Patriots going against the Jets. That was 2. Just those 2 that week. We only had 2.
So we've been about 50-50 on Moneyball so far, right? I'm not going to go to week 1. I wasn't there. So we're about 50-50 on Moneyball picks.
Well, let me see. Let me go look at the first week. We had this. Wow, we only had 1 Moneyball pick.
That's a 50% increase.
So hey, it went up, man.
Actually, I'm sorry, that's a 100% increase. My bad.
It can only get better, man.
So listen, if we're saying Vikings, Titans, Lions, and Chiefs, we should be right about 50 on 2 of those for definite sure. All right, so we'll see. But I'm hoping that this week's a little bit better with that, man. Listen, we definitely had a little bit of fun with these picks. At least we have this here. It helps us talk us off the ledge and get us off of that want to kill ourselves and bash the Giants and go after these knuckleheads on Twitter that want to just like sit there and they hope the Giants lose and they want to go 0-17 and get a million picks and the Giants will be 0-17 and the Bears will have 1-16 or something and we'll have the first 2 picks of the draft. Like that ain't happening. Get off of that nonsense. Give me that 3-4 split over the next 7. Give me that 3-10 record that that 3-7 record that I was talking about going into week 11, and let's reassess what we have as far as a football team. Because anything better than that, I'm telling you, is a plus. And that's how this season now needs to be approached moving forward. Look at that rough stretch. If we go anything less than 3, we're in trouble. Anything over that shit, let's start celebrating in the streets. All right, and that's what I'm going to say about that 7-game stretch. Mike, you got anything to add to that?
Nah, man, let's just hope for a win, man. Let's get that W and get all these fucking trolls off my back, please.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, this is another episode of the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. You can find that podcast and ourselves on Twitter. BBONYG is the handle there. Myself is Jules NYC1. Mike's is Mike Trainer MFT. All right. That's where we find us. These trolls know where we're at. I want some more to come at me, but that's all right because I like that kind of stuff. It gives me some more fun on Sundays, especially if I had a few in me. But anyway, that wraps this episode up. Hopefully we come back with a 4-for-4 money ball and the Giants win. We'll see you guys later. We out.
Hey, everyone. Do you think you're a football genius? Or do you just want to win $300? Well, guess what? The time is now, and now is the time. Join playactionpools.com and search for the BBO NYG Podcast Pick'em Pool. Pick every game each week in the NFL season with the spread. And if at the end of the year you are in first place, you're getting paid. Hurry up and log on. Find out how you're eligible to win this prize.